Hey everybody, Off the Mic Wrestling Show YouTube channel. Wanted to use this video to talk about the respective women's divisions in the major North American wrestling company. So let's call it AEW, WWE, and we'll throw TNA in here for the sake of argument as well. So the reason for this video is a couple things. Number one, it appears as if Hikaru Shida is going to challenge Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship at All Out. And that's great. Here's the problem. Hikaru Shida has done nothing but lose any of her big matches. She got thrown into Britt Baker's first match back in almost a calendar year. She got a free TBS title match that she lost to Mercedes Moné, was kind of just tossed aside like it was nothing. And she won a random four-way on Collision on Saturday night. I think it had Queen Aminata, it had Thunder Rosa, and Serena Deeb in it. It's cool. I love me some Hikaru Shida. She is one of the aces of this women's division. But why did you need to do that match and throw her in? This is my problem. Why does AEW continue to just book matches and then, it ruins the novelty of a first-time match ever? And Hikaru Shida and Mercedes Moné on pay-per-view as a first-time ever match, that's gone. That can only ever happen one time. And they threw it away on a random Dynamite for no reason whatsoever but to build a crappy feud and a crappy match at a big-time show. And I've made no secrets about how I feel Mercedes Moné has been built and booked since she came to AEW, but that's a separate issue here. And then Nyla Rose is getting a women's world championship match against Mariah May on Dynamite this week. And I'm not going to go to the place where a lot of transphobic douchebags in the wrestling space. Nyla Rose is a woman. She's a very accomplished woman as well. That being said, with all due respect, this is Mariah May's coming off a huge monumental title win at All In. As this big heel character, she's been built up incredibly well. She beat Toni Storm, who's one of the flag bearers of this division. And Nyla Rose just gets given an opportunity because of a promo, and she called out. What are we doing? What are we doing? What happened to matches being earned? And some people will, on the AEW cultist side, saying, well, what the fuck has Rhea Ripley done but lose? And granted, she did win at Bash in Berlin, but hey, what the hell has Liv Morgan done beside winning the championship and being a glorified valet for and then kind of taking over the Rhea Ripley role? But in the end, these characters are infinitely more interesting, and they don't have to have week-to-week championship matches that mean absolutely positively nothing. Like a mixed tag team match with two women in it felt way more significant than the TBS title match at All In. And you can debate me all you want on that. You're wrong if you think Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker felt more significant. I am way more invested, and I have been way more invested in Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan than I ever was in Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker. And Mercedes Moné is a legend in this business. And it just shows you how bad she has been booked, how bad her character has been handled. Britt Baker's rollout pretty much post Forbidden Door return, aside from that one promo and her return on that Dynamite that followed, it's been a disaster. The women's division, yes, there is some good talent, and it's honestly as good as it's been in a while. That being said, it is a far cry away from being the best women's division in all of professional wrestling. You could look at NXT, and I would make NXT, they have a couple of big matches on this No Mercy show later today. That division's way better. TNA has got Jordan Grace, who is arguably one of the best women working today. And she went to NXT and put over Roxanne Perez. She has been dominant as the TNA champion. And you've got people like Alicia Edwards is doing really well. Masha Slamovich. They've got great people. And it's fitting because that division is effectively run by Gail Kim, one of the greatest female performers of all time. And in my opinion, separate issue, one of the biggest WWE fumbles ever. How Gail Kim didn't become more of a thing in WWE is just a massive indictment on Vince McMahon and the way he thought of the women's division. I would have loved to have seen Gail Kim in a women's division post women's evolution. I would have loved to have seen that, but it just didn't work out. So when it comes to AEW and their women's division, you've got people like Deonna Purrazzo is there. Where the fuck is she? Where the fuck is she? Like, she was challenging for the women's championship about 6 months ago. She's on Collision all the time. Thunder Rosa, former women's champion, she can't get a match against Mercedes Moné. I'm not trying to this is not an anti-Hikaru Shida or an anti-Nyla Rose video. I'm just saying the principles of how these women are getting these matches is just ridiculous. And some people came after me when I dared to question the decision to give Hikaru Shida another shot at the TBS title against Mercedes Moné. It's going to happen at All Out. It looks like that's going to happen. I don't know if that's been made official yet. But they already did the match. It was a nothing match to build up to a nothing feud. So you've insignificantly done that. And then Mariah May, this is her first championship defense. Granted, it is a former women's champion in Nyla Rose, but we've been given zero reason to care about that for the longest time. So, again, it comes down to basic fundamentals in booking characters, making them interesting, and giving them television time. Not throwing out nothing matches just for the sake of booking for the sickos. And the reason why WWE, and even to some degree TNA, is in a much better spot, in my opinion, in terms of, like, not even just the women's division, just as a whole, is the way that they book their characters. It doesn't have to be match every single time. It could be, hey, character building segment. I probably liked, the Mariah, I wish there would have been more to that Mariah May segment on Dynamite, but at least it was some sort of a character development type deal. I'd like to see more of that. Yeah, it didn't go on for very long, but that's the type of stuff you need to get people interested in these characters. I mean, I'd like to see less of Mercedes Moné holding a microphone, or maybe, have some better material for her, and, maybe have her work on her ability to cut a promo. Because I've been told by people, I had a buddy of mine who interviewed her locally ahead of her New Japan Capital Collision match. She is a very authentic person, and it's weird that that's not translating onto the screen. So you've got to get people invested in these characters, and that's why, like, I look at the way these divisions are being built, and you just don't care about these people on the AEW side. Yeah, the talent is there, but then some of these talents are falling by the wayside. Serena Deeb's a great wrestler, but what's her character? Thunder Rosa is awesome, but she doesn't win. Deonna Purrazzo's disappeared. Toni Storm's the best character they've ever had, and it was one of the goofiest things of all time. And it's a testament to her that she was able to make that thing work. Mariah May, I hope, and I think the world. Jamie Hayter's back in the division as well. I hope that she does great things moving forward. Get Saraya the hell out of there. Her credibility has died as much as Mercedes Moné. And the Outcasts, that is a dead group. I don't even know what the fuck Carly Cameron's ability really is. She just yells and screams, and she, gets beaten up by people. So, again, a lot of people are going to say, AEW women's division is the best. No, it's not. Just look at the way that the things are being booked. Just look at the facts. Just look at what's being put on your screen. When you're having random title matches, I mean, Cheetah at least, won a match that effectively was a number one contenders match. But again, the significance and the novelty is worn off because you just had her job out to Mercedes Moné less than a month ago to build up to a match that was a complete and utter stinker and an indictment on just how much of a lack of chemistry Mercedes and Britt had. So, I honestly would take TNA's women's division over AEW's just because of the way that, they handled their women. And you have a Jordynne Grace there that obviously helped, and maybe things will change when Jordynne eventually leaves and jumps to WWE, which I would expect to happen. But it also helps when you have a talented woman and a woman who knows the business like a Gail Kim being really effectively in charge of the Knockouts division. And the talent level is not nearly at the level of these other promotions, but TNA treats their women, and they just don't throw together matches. So that's my assessment of the women's divisions across the major North American promotions. We'll have an NXT No Mercy recap here on the channel later today. A couple great women's matches on that show, and potentially some huge debuts. Can't wait to watch that show and react to that show from Denver later today. Subscribe here to the YouTube channel. Follow me at OffTheMic28. Follow the channel at OT Mike Wrestling. And if you guys are wrestling fans, just love and appreciate the support. And talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.